Welcome to the Daily Principle. Today, you'll discover why success isn't something you chase. It's something you naturally attract by becoming the right person. What if the biggest thing standing between you and success isn't your circumstances, your luck, or your talent, but the person you're becoming every single day? Stay with me, because by the end of this video, you'll discover why success is never chased. It's earned by the character, habits, and mindset you build. Everyone wants success, but most people spend their lives chasing it in the wrong way. The truth is, success isn't something you run after. It's something that naturally comes to you as you grow into the right person. The more you obsess over the outcome alone, the more frustrated and exhausted you become. But when your attention shifts toward improving yourself, success begins to follow almost naturally. So ask yourself this: who are you becoming each day? Success is attracted to character before it is attracted to talent. It responds to discipline, integrity, persistence, generosity, and a commitment to constant growth. People who consistently add value, improve their skills, and live with purpose naturally create opportunities that others keep searching for. Everything starts with becoming someone worth trusting with greater responsibility. That journey begins with clear goals. If you don't know where you're going, it's impossible to recognize the right path. Many people drift through life without a definite direction and wonder why nothing meaningful changes. Success responds to clarity. When you know exactly what you want, your choices become more intentional and your actions become more focused. Think about it honestly. If someone asked you where you want your life to be 5 years from now, could you answer with confidence? Could you describe it clearly? If not, now is the time to decide. Clear goals create focused action, and focused action creates real progress. Of course, having a destination doesn't make the journey easy. Every worthwhile goal comes with challenges. You'll need discipline, patience, sacrifice, and consistent effort. Difficult seasons are part of the process, but they're also the moments that shape your character. Obstacles aren't there to stop your progress. They're there to develop the person capable of achieving bigger dreams. Many years ago, I reached a point where I had almost nothing. My finances were empty, my confidence was low, and my future felt uncertain. Then I met a mentor who completely changed the way I looked at life. He told me something I never forgot. If you want your life to improve, you must improve first. That simple idea changed everything. I had been waiting for my circumstances to become better, but I realized the real change had to begin with me. My situation wasn't the true problem. My personal growth was the missing piece. The moment I accepted responsibility for becoming better, my entire direction started changing. I committed myself to learning every day. I read books, listened to successful people, searched for mentors, and worked on improving my habits, mindset, and abilities. As I changed internally, opportunities that once seemed impossible began appearing. Better people entered my life. Better decisions led to better results. Nothing changed until I did. Your daily habits are equally important because your future is built one routine at a time. You can dream about success all you want, but if your daily actions don't support those dreams, they remain wishes. Imagine wanting excellent health while ignoring exercise and eating poorly. The outcome is obvious. Success works exactly the same way. Highly successful people build routines that move them closer to their goals every single day. They continue learning. They prepare before they act. They review their progress honestly. They protect their time, remain focused, and keep showing up long after the excitement disappears. Their advantage isn't perfection, it's consistency. Anyone can stay motivated for a few days. The real difference appears when someone continues working through boredom, setbacks, and slow progress. That's where lasting success is created, not through occasional bursts of effort, but through steady commitment over months and years. Along with habits, your mindset shapes everything else. Your thoughts become the foundation on which your actions are built. If your mind is filled with fear, doubt, and limiting beliefs, you'll struggle to recognize opportunities even when they appear. But when you believe growth is possible, your decisions begin reflecting that belief. Confidence alone won't create success, but it gives you the courage to begin. You must believe your future can become greater than your past. The way you think influences the way you act, and your actions eventually determine your results. That's why protecting your mind matters so much. Your environment constantly influences your thinking. If you're surrounded by negativity, excuses, and people who discourage growth, your mindset will slowly become limited. On the other hand, if you fill your mind with inspiring books, valuable knowledge, positive influences, and people who challenge you to improve, your thinking expands. And when your thinking changes, your behavior follows. The people around you also play a powerful role in your success. Every relationship influences the direction of your life. If you spend your time with people who have no ambition, avoid responsibility, or settle for less than they're capable of, you'll eventually begin accepting those standards yourself. Choose to spend more time with people who encourage growth, set high expectations, and believe in your potential. Their attitudes, habits, and discipline will naturally influence your own. As you improve, your circle will often begin changing too. That happened in my own life. As I focused on personal development, some relationships naturally faded, not because anyone was wrong, but because our priorities were no longer the same. While I wanted to learn, grow, and build a better future, others were comfortable staying exactly where they were. One important lesson became clear. Not everyone will walk beside you on your journey. Some people will choose familiarity over growth, and that's their decision. Your responsibility is to keep moving forward. Every relationship either encourages your progress or quietly limits it. The more intentional you become about your environment, the easier it becomes to grow into the person that success is naturally drawn toward. Take a moment and ask yourself an honest question. Are the people around you helping you move closer to your dreams, or are they quietly pulling you away from them? If you're serious about becoming someone who naturally attracts success, your relationships need to support the future you're trying to build. That isn't always comfortable. Sometimes growth requires leaving behind people, habits, or environments that no longer serve you. Progress always asks for something in return. One of the biggest turning points in my life came when I began spending time with my mentor, Mr. Schoaf. Through him, I met people who were already living the kind of life I wanted. They approached life differently. They were disciplined, focused, optimistic, generous, and believed opportunities were everywhere instead of believing there was never enough. Being around that mindset slowly changed my own thinking. I started setting bigger goals, expecting more from myself, and taking action with greater purpose. The people around me didn't just inspire me. They expanded what I believed was possible. That's why it's important to ask yourself who you're learning from. Who influences the way you think? Who are you modeling your life after? Every successful person leaves behind valuable lessons. You don't have to figure everything out alone. Find people who have already achieved what you're working toward and study how they think, how they manage their time, and how they respond to challenges. Success often follows patterns, and those patterns can be learned. Another essential principle is becoming a person who creates value. Success doesn't chase people who simply exist. It follows those who improve the lives of others. The more problems you solve, the more valuable you become. Look for ways to contribute instead of simply taking. Whether it's your career, business, family, or community, ask yourself how you can make things better. People who consistently bring solutions become impossible to ignore. The size of your opportunities often reflects the size of the problems you're willing to solve. Small contributions produce small rewards. Bigger contributions create bigger opportunities. But value isn't only measured by what you accomplish externally. It's also built through your character. Integrity matters. Lasting success is built on trust. You might gain temporary results through shortcuts or dishonesty, but real success only survives when people know they can rely on you. Character isn't something you turn on only when it's convenient. It shows up in every part of your life. My mentor once shared a lesson I'll never forget. The way you handle small things eventually shapes the way you handle everything. If you ignore your promises in one area, that habit spreads into others. If you're careless with your commitments, that attitude follows you wherever you go. Character grows through daily choices. Every promise you keep, every responsibility you honor, and every effort you make, even when nobody is watching, builds the person you're becoming. Discipline is another quality that separates dreamers from achievers. It's the bridge between knowing what you want and actually creating it. Motivation comes and goes, but discipline keeps you moving long after the excitement fades. There will always be distractions competing for your attention. The people who succeed aren't those who never face temptation. They're the ones who repeatedly choose what matters most. Successful people don't rely on their emotions to determine their actions. They follow principles instead. They continue doing what needs to be done, even on days when they don't feel inspired. That's what creates long-term results. The good news is that discipline isn't something you're born with. It's something you develop through repetition. Just like building physical strength, every small act of self-control makes you stronger. Waking up earlier, finishing work before relaxing, exercising when you'd rather stay comfortable, following through on commitments. Each decision strengthens your ability to stay consistent. Discipline is also an act of self-respect. Every time you honor your commitments to yourself, you reinforce the belief that your goals matter. People naturally respect those who maintain high standards because those standards are visible through daily actions. Raise your expectations for yourself. Refuse to settle for average when you're capable of more. Alongside discipline, patience is one of the greatest advantages you can develop. Success rarely happens overnight. It's not a single event, but a gradual process. Too many people become discouraged because they expect immediate rewards. Real achievement doesn't work that way. Think about planting a seed. You don't expect a full-grown tree the next morning. You water it, care for it, and allow time to do its work. Personal growth follows the same principle. Every lesson you learn, every habit you improve, and every disciplined action you repeat is quietly building your future. Patience doesn't mean becoming passive. It means continuing to improve even when results aren't immediately visible. It means trusting that today's effort is preparing tomorrow's opportunities. Many people quit just before their hard work begins producing results because they mistake slow progress for failure. Those who ultimately succeed understand that meaningful achievements require persistence. They stay committed long enough to see their efforts compound. Today's world encourages instant gratification, but lasting success still follows timeless principles. It is built one decision, one habit, one lesson, and one day at a time. Every small improvement adds to the next. Over time, those consistent actions create extraordinary results. When patience and discipline work together, something remarkable happens. Your efforts begin multiplying. What once seemed like tiny, insignificant steps eventually become the foundation of a life that others call successful. That's how real success is created, not through luck or shortcuts, but through consistent action, unwavering character, and the willingness to become better every single day. Patience is powerful, but by itself it won't create success. It has to work alongside persistence. Patience gives you the ability to wait without giving up, while persistence keeps you taking action until your efforts finally pay off. Every meaningful goal will test you. There will be setbacks, failures, disappointments, and days when you'll wonder if continuing is worth it. That's normal. The people who succeed aren't always the most talented. They're often the ones who refuse to quit. Ask yourself honestly, can you keep moving after failure? Can you stay committed when life doesn't follow your plan? Success doesn't belong to the person who never falls. It belongs to the one who keeps getting back up. Resilience, determination, and grit keep you in the game long enough for opportunities to find you. Persistence, however, isn't about repeating the same mistakes. Sometimes working harder isn't enough. You need to work smarter. Stay committed to the destination, but be flexible enough to change your approach. Real progress comes from adapting while never losing sight of your goal. I learned that lesson the hard way. I believed effort alone guaranteed results, but business taught me otherwise. Some strategies simply didn't work. I had a choice: keep doing the same thing or learn, adjust, and improve. Choosing to adapt changed everything. I found better ways to communicate, manage my time, and create value. Success came because I was willing to grow, not because everything went according to plan. Life rarely unfolds exactly as you expect. Challenges will appear, and circumstances will change. The people who thrive aren't the ones who avoid obstacles. They're the ones who remain flexible while staying committed to their vision. Another quality that attracts success is a positive mindset. That doesn't mean pretending problems don't exist. It means choosing to look for possibilities instead of becoming trapped by obstacles. Your attitude shapes your decisions, and your decisions shape your future. When you focus on hope, solutions, and opportunity, you naturally begin creating better outcomes. One of the simplest ways to strengthen that mindset is through gratitude. Spend a few minutes each day appreciating what you already have. Whether it's your health, family, work, or another chance to improve, gratitude trains your mind to notice opportunities instead of limitations. A better perspective leads to better decisions, and better decisions create better results. Perhaps the greatest lesson of all is taking full responsibility for your life. Stop waiting for perfect circumstances. Stop blaming people, bad luck, or the past. You may not control everything that happens, but you always control how you respond. That response determines your future. When something goes wrong, don't waste energy looking for someone to blame. Ask yourself what you can learn and how you can improve. Every setback carries a lesson if you're willing to accept it. I made countless mistakes before I realized that nothing changed until I accepted responsibility for my own results. The moment I stopped waiting for life to improve and started improving myself, everything began moving in the right direction. Responsibility doesn't mean doing everything alone. Success grows faster when you learn from mentors, surround yourself with ambitious people, and choose relationships that encourage growth. Your environment quietly shapes your standards, so be intentional about the people you allow to influence your life. Finally, remember that lasting success comes from contribution. The people who achieve the most are focused on creating value, solving problems, and helping others. Every small act of excellence, every problem you solve, and every person you serve strengthens your character and builds trust. The more value you give, the more opportunities naturally come back to you. In the end, success isn't something you chase forever. It's something you attract by the person you become. Build discipline, stay persistent, keep learning, adapt when necessary. Take responsibility for your life, surround yourself with people who inspire growth, and commit to serving others. When you become that person, success stops feeling out of reach and begins following you naturally. Success isn't something you run after. It's something that naturally follows the person you choose to become every single day. Stay committed to your growth, keep showing up with discipline and purpose, and trust that every small step is shaping the future you deserve. This is the daily principle. Keep becoming, and success will find you.